Hey guys, gals, and MDs. I'm here today with the Wavestate Mark II, and I've been making a lot of Wavestate content just because I like the Wavestate so much. I love the sound, and I was kind of inspired to do this after listening to the Kingdom Hearts soundtrack again, and specifically Dearly Beloved, which is the track right after the opening that you have on the title screen. So this is going to be a pretend track to a non-existent JRPG at the title screen. You know, when you select either continue, new game, or the options that you have. But yeah, we'll use the Wavestate, the Mark II. You can use any Wavestate. The only difference is going to be that the other Wavestates, like if you use the original, it's going to have less polyphony. If you use the module and the SE, you'll have more polyphony. This patch eats through polyphony. So yeah, let's make a init patch. So go to the very top of your patches if you have this set to your default patches, and it should be an init patch already. And we're going to use different layers to do this. So layer 1, we want to be on layer A here and click the select button, and we want to go up here to mode, and we're going to use single multi-sample. And by default, this first single multi-sample it always chooses is the piano. And we want to go down and choose the harp harmonics. And go to the amp envelope here, and we want to go ahead and turn down the sustain. We want to have a little bit of decay, probably half a second, and we want to have a little bit of release, maybe a second and a half, 1.8 seconds. It needs to be relatively short because we're going to add the body to the harp in the next layer. Turn on the next layer by double clicking. It's the easiest way I've found. You can also use shift in that, but this is just easy. And we want to go to select again. We want to change to single multi-sample. Go here, go down. Again, since we're in the piano, we're close to where we need. Plucked harp. Go to amp. We're going to turn sustain down. We're going to put a little bit more decay than last time, maybe 2 seconds, and some good amount of release. And now we have our awesome sounding harp. It sounds very realistic because we have the harmonics and we have the body of the harp. All right, so we could go about this two ways for the next layer. We're going to add some strings in it. And you could do a keyboard split if you have the module version, or if you're willing to plug in a keyboard controller, if you have the SE, if you're lucky enough to have an SE, then the keyboard split might be the best way to do this, because then you can play the strings on one side and you can play the harp on the other. But we're going to use envelopes to kind of do that for us, and you'll see what I mean. Let's start by turning on layer C. Go to select here. We want to go to single multi-sample. Go down to the here, and now we're going to choose 12, which gets us into the strings section. And we want to scroll down to chamber strings 1, press enter, and watch. You will have the strings now. Go to amp, and we're going to make this swell in. We want to give it just enough time so we get a little bit of bleed over on the plucked harp part, but not too much. You'll see what I mean. So let's make it about 3 seconds. If we hold it too long, we get the strings, see? Maybe a little less of time on that. Perfect. 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds, and let's add a lot of release. Let's add about 4 seconds of release. 420. Huh. All right, cool, right? All right, I think so. So let's start layer D now, and we're going to make this another string, but we're going to make this an octave below, and we're going to use different string sample. So let's go switch this over. Whoops. So we're on layer D. Turn this to single multi-sample. Press enter. Choose 12 again. Scroll down to chamber strings 2 instead of chamber strings 1. now we want to go ahead and shape this. We want to have a little longer. So if we're here on C, we have 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds, 2.6 seconds on the attack. We want this to be like about 4 seconds on the next layer. So in about 4 seconds, the last layer kicks in. Let's add a bit of release to maybe, 5 seconds. That's good. And now that we're on layer D still, we want to go into performance, and we want to go ahead and hold the shift button, go over to the page that tells us we're on layer D program setup. We want to turn layer D an octave below. So when layer D kicks in, it's going to be an octave down string sound, so like this. I think that's gorgeous. Again, I am biased, of course, because I made this patch. So the first thing I noticed that when we add reverb, it's going to be a little boomy on the harp, but we can fix that pretty easily because this has a very interesting setup where each of the layers has its own effects section other than the reverb. The reverb is shared amongst all the layers. Unfortunately, as far as I know, the reverb isn't a send effect. It is a master reverb at the end. So I think every layer has to share a reverb if you have the reverb on. You can't just not send one of the layers to the reverb, which would make this a little easier. But that said, I need to go through and see if there's a way around that. Maybe I'm wrong. I think the mod wave was the only one that uses it as a send effect. I think it is just the mod wave. Maybe it's the op6. I don't remember. But yeah, so you'll hear it. So let's turn on the reverb because we do want reverb on all of it. Let's go ahead and go to the presets. And if you look up, I will hopefully try and post it in my description. But I made a video on how good the reverb on this sounds, and I went through what I did in the software editor to make a good reverb. Go in the software editor, download it, and it's a free editor, obviously, from Korg themselves, and make your own reverb preset, and make sure you turn down the pre-delay quite a bit. Make sure that you can turn the size up very high, and that you can add a lot of modulation to it. And that's what I did with my Noodle Dragon preset. Let's go find it. It's right there. All right. And now here, my size parameter controls size. Time controls time because you can set what the knobs do. Obviously, if you watch that video, you'll see what I mean. And we want to turn the time up. I want to turn it up to like maybe 13 seconds. Maybe not so much. Maybe 11. I don't think that's seconds, though. I think that's just a scalar. And then I have timbre set to modulation. We want to turn up the modulation. But as you can hear, the harp is a little boomy. But I brought up the fact that each layer can have its own other effects section. So each layer can have its own modulation effect, its own delay effect, and its own pre-effects. And the one thing we have in pre-effects is a parametric and a standard EQ. That's going to help us out. Let's make the wetness of the reverb around 3070. Sounds really cool, right? All right, let's go into layer A, and we want to go to pre-effects. Now we are in A. See, it says pre-effects A, so mod A, delay A, and then if you go into reverb, it's a master reverb. That is a thing. So A, pre-effect, we want to go up here to type, and we want to choose parametric EQ. And the awesome part is the default sending is exactly what I want because I want to brighten it up and lower in and drop the bottom end a little bit. And we have mix, bright, and clean, like simple and clean, haha. But the nice part about that is it takes the boominess off and it's almost perfect for what we want. I should say it is perfect. And it gives you a little bit of input trim, so it takes it down a little bit too. And it's perfect. So Go into layer B, do the same exact thing. We want to, whoops, yep, yeah, we want to go ahead and go in, choose the thing, parametric. And when you choose a new setting, it turns it on by default, but you can also just double click just like we did on our layers to turn on and off an effect. So yeah, and it is on layer A and B, we have mix, bright, and clean. See how that just tamed the harp? Gorgeous, just absolutely gorgeous. All right, well, we are set, and now I can go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and play something for you that is going to be kind of that feel of a opening title screen to this non-existent JRPG. All right, that's pretty much what I have for you today. I thought it was really cool sounding. It's something you can really do. Like I said, the Wavestate it's really becoming one of my you know what? Scratch that. It is my favorite digital synth. Purely digital synth, it is my favorite. I'm not talking about something that does VA or something like that, because my favorite VA/wavetable digital synth is probably still the Hydra synth. Maybe. Okay, you know what? The Peak is not a digital synth. It is a hybrid synth. So let's take that out of the equation. But as digital synths go, especially Rompler style synths, the Wavestate is just, it punches above its price point. Yeah, I know it's a Raspberry Pi and a fancy, crappy controller. I shouldn't say fancy. It is just a crappy controller. But I mean, you do have a lot of knobs. And it is fun to use, but it is very cheaply built. But that said, it is my favorite tool for just composing things like you just heard. And yeah, it's just gorgeous. I mean, like... yeah, just that. Ooh, it's good. Yeah, now I'm just really messing with it. But yeah, if you like this video and you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And if you liked it, give me a thumbs up. I'll be back soon, probably again at the end of the week, probably on the weekend. And I'll be doing something that's not Wavestate related. So yeah, I've been putting out a lot of Wavestate content. But again, my channel, and I love the Wavestate. Thanks for watching.